There's the big boss. Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
How's it going? How's it going? Yeah, we can hear you well.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. So it's been a nice week, I guess. Mainly focused on some machine learning updates. Look more into like the machine learning, the ML model support for multilingual. Um, in the last 7 days, like I think that the team currently, if we break down the projects, what happened in the last 7 days. And I know there are things that we can't really speak about, um, but mainly, like if you look at the community and strategy and growth team have executed around 110 tasks. Um, the operations teams, which is a general team that handling all the internal operations, whether it's like salary payments and whatsoever, have executed around 35 tasks. The Atlas data center team have executed around 14 tasks. They have the AI for operators have executed 10 tasks. And the AI inside Ocean, also same thing, around 10 tasks. The SecOps teams have also completed 6 tasks. Now I'm talking about like really sizey tasks that are features, basically. The PR marketing team have at least published more than 5 articles. One of them was on Cointelegraph. The All-Routing Intelligence team have completed two components. The operators, also in the backend, there's more front-end work happened the operator. The O.XYZ team also is have multiple meetings with third-party providers. We did have some kind of like compliance check and security check. The infrastructure team generally, when it comes to like backend support for our like DevOps technology, let's say infrastructure support for all the compute needs, GPU needs, and all the needs in the team have completed like more than 30 tasks. If you look at like if we divide, let's say the most active team in the company, we have the DevOps team, is like around from all the projects and squads is the largest holder, which is completing around 10 tasks. Sorry, 10% of the tasks. And then you have immediately after that is the AI machine learning team, which is around 5% of the tasks. And then you have the small squads for between finance, legal, more markets, operations, and all that boring stuff. Now, the reason why I've been saying this because so technically the team have at least completed more than 240 tasks technically. And these tasks we're talking about features, code reviews, PR commits or PR merges and so on in terms of like code. Now, if we translate this to, let's say, a normal language, right? Maybe some people who are watching from outside, they may see that there's small things or like many things that are happening. But if now it's translated to normal language. So for the operators team, the team have added the support for the Arabic, Turkish, and Urdu language, Vietnamese language, Hindi language, and Russian language for both Twitter and Medium posts. They are still working on the Twitter thread support, and there have been, as I told you, a few front-end stuff, so that two minor bug fixes and error handling. On the Ocean side, they also added or kind of started to they added it, but it's at the initial phase and testing phase. I would consider it a support for the Arabic language. They have done extensive experimentation analysis, and it's like 90% consistent. The front end and back end of the Ocean team also already started to work on the multi-language support. The All-Routing Intelligence, the team is already reviewing like the current last to date. Another word, benchmarking the results, like reaching a point, like they've been like, okay, this is what we have now. Let's benchmark, let's review again. Is this good enough? Is this what we're expecting? Is this capable to go production and so on? So it was more a benchmarking week, I would say, for the All-Routing Intelligence. There have been on the origin side, there have been a lot of voice authentication testing and bug fixes. I have already tried it right now, and it's actually you can go right now to Ocean when you log out, and if you set up your voice from the profile, this is on production. So if you go to your profile on the top and then you manage profile, and you click on profile, you see like voice authentication. You click on it, you set it up, you log out, you come back again, you speak to Miss O, it works. So for that actually to work, you just have to click on that that ball, that circle behind the login screen. Just like click the mouse with it, it will pop up uh, a low voice recording. So you will open it, and then you'll speak with Miss O. You will say, "Hey, Miss O, I'm back," and then it will automatically detect you to is this your email, which is your real email, the one you have already, and that you will log in. It works. You put your PIN code, it works. And I didn't know it was on production, by the way. I just found out it's on production, and I didn't test it on production, and I also tested it while we were waiting for you guys to join. It works just how it was on the dev and staging environment. So finally, at least we get that out. I've been waiting for this feature since February. Um, so please, guys, if like you let me know any issues there. I think this is a crucial step here because once it can identify your voice properly, then it can identify voices of, let's say, kids, right? You have two kids at home, and then first kid speaks, second kid speak. It will remember that this first kid is, I don't know, Mark, second, and the second kid is X. So it will always remember them, and it will always have the context of that conversation with that kid specifically, and will remember the context of the other kid, and it will have memory specific for each voice. Same, of course, for your voice when you speak mainly to Miss O on the voice. So it is an important feature. Like if we manage to have it as secure on the login side, then definitely it's easy for us to have it in the conversation side. That they Miss O will remember each one of us. And I really imagine guys with me, like we have a conference and then there's this big sphere in front of us, and anyone who have an account could come in and speak with Miss O, and she would remember who's that person is. Um, and it's gonna be really fun. Like that's the initial version of intelligence, I guess, the memory and remembering all of us. Um, so that's mainly all the work that been happening around for both operators, Ocean, or routing intelligence, origin of the voice authentication. Um, I think also there's some work on the operators for, of course, it's the multilingual support is released. There's and some minor bug fixes also happened. There's notification system released, which was initially disabled for front end for the users. Um, so working on the payout mechanism right now. So for all the people who have aggregated the rewards from the operator, and there is a research on rebalancing the scoring mechanisms. That's to score the posts and how much rating to give in the post. Now, there is the O markets. The main work on O markets this week, of course, was the integration of the SSO and documentation for the users once it's released. So the integration with SSO is because O markets is a different platform, but with your same user that you have in O origin, you will directly link and you have an account in O markets, right? And also, of course, that gives you also direct access from Ocean to O markets. So that like ecosystem. That's what they were working on mainly in O markets this week. The SSO integration, meaning that you can log in with your O account in the O markets. That's, I think, a full summary from my side here. There is a crypto payment happening also coming for users asked last week if we can pay in crypto. So crypto payments for tiers, the front end work is complete to support the payments. Now there's just some backend updates need to be tested, but that's it. So all good from my side. That's a full update from a technical perspective. Give it
Thank you.
back to you. Yes, sir.
That was good. That was good. All right, so I'm just gonna check if there's any questions I missed from the chat here, and then I can share some of them. Let's see. I'm just scrolling. Somebody asked, he said, "Hey, Shadid, do you have more updates about ORI timelines, when it go live? Last stream you said that today you will give us updates about it. Thank you."
Yes, that's a good question. So what we decided for ORI is we are going to probably have an initial alpha, not beta, alpha testing environment, and it will be like really soon. There's not specific date, but what we decided that the initial full launch of the O routing intelligence is going to be either end of October or first week of November. That's like the full global launch of the what is it called? The ORI. Now, here's the alpha drop. First week of November, if not before, somewhere that time is the O Limitless Summit 2. I hope that also gives you some hint.
Oh, I didn't know we are telling them that. That's the alpha drop for real. Big alpha drop. Okay, let's see.
We basically have 170 days left almost. Yeah, kind of.
mm. Somebody said, "May I know how come to be able to join as operator? We need to subscribe to Omni." So they're asking how they become operators and do they need to subscribe to Omni?
Yeah, the minimum tier, I guess, gives you access to the operators, so just subscribe for it.
Mm.
That helps us clean Sybil attack. You know, that's the only issue. That's why we kept the price too low, but at least just kind of like protect ourselves from Sybil attack. At least all these bot created accounts, they will cost, right? So it's kind of something in between.
Mhm.
No, I think what I'm really excited about this operators is, of course, last week we told the team that there's work happening on the YouTube videos, on the TikTok videos, and all that. And I think it will that part of the project is gonna become even the rewards that are like really small right now, considering that we are assessing the. We don't want spamming too, right? We want really effective content. So it will. So I really advise people here to focus on really, aside from making posts about us and posting it on the operators. I do have an advice that like focus on actually building your community on your own account. Like grow your follower base, try to grow your interact like how much people interact with your posts. Aside from our posts, like really just focus on actually growing your account to a point where you work on it. Like consider your account as your project, because if that's the only, if you are not an engineer, so you wouldn't be able to become the engineering operator later. So you're only a marketing operator. So I really advise in the next 2 or 3 months, focus on building your community, like grow your account as much and as big as you can and as real as you can. It will have a big impact soon. So it's good time to start working on it from now for those who are working with operators.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Um,
We have a question. When will the rewards from operators be distributed? The claim, and will operators? They are already working on the claiming feature right now. So I will talk to the team. So there's two pieces here. There's a technical piece where people have to automatically claim, and there's the other piece where if I see the technical team is taking them a bit longer to do this, my goal would be that at the end of the month, like this month, we will do it manually. Like we will cut off, we'll take all the data, reset all the account rewards, and then we will manually send to every person, of course, through some like airdrop tools. We'll just spread the tokens to the community. And I think it's like no matter what, my goal is never to let the technical difficulties such as this to have a like a proper claim feature to be heard and stop the people who worked hard to get their money from their work. So I'll make sure by end of this month, if the technical team have not yet finished the claiming feature, I will myself ask for the snapshot for all the people, and then we will send it through an airdrop tool to everyone, and we'll announce it. And you can follow up on that topic with Amanda and Wonder. We'll be reaching out just to remind us in case we forgot.
Definitely, definitely. See something from Leon. He said, "My question would be, will there ever be a similar story with OBA that OI will be replaced?" And then another question is, if Ocean is faster than ChatGPT because it has a similar user base than ChatGPT, for example, like with the same user base, would it still be faster?
And well, no, of course not. And it's well, first of all, it's not faster because we have less user base, for sure. It's faster because the GPU infrastructure we use is not NVIDIA. Now, would it be the same if we have the same user base? We wouldn't be able to handle the same user base. 100 million user is so much. The chip is still going to work at the same speed to get the result, right? But things are going to be on sequence to be processed. So whenever it's processed, it will process at 1,500 token per second plus as a result. But then there will be a sequence. So there will be a wait time. You come in a queue, you wait, and then the queue answers you. But when it's time to process your question, it is faster. That's why the ChatGPT actually have sometimes they have peak time, right? When they even block you from sending messages, uh, and that's when they don't have any capacity. And then after peak time is gone, which is a delay, by the way, then you have the time when your message is in the GPU and it's being processed. So if we just look at it, is the message in the chip and it's being processed? Of course, we're faster because it's not the same chip. But can we handle that not much of users? I don't think of course, we can't handle that much of users yet. And that's why there's always, if you look at the O infrastructure and the documentation, there's the plan of building O Atlas 1, O Atlas 2, and so on. And we are already working on O Atlas 1 right now. So that's kind of like coming in the background, right? Because we see the growth in the user base coming. And based on that, we are working on increasing the computing capacity. So I hope that answered your question. Of course, you need more of these chips so you can process more users. It's just that way. That's how it works.
Mm. Okay. There was a question here. I'll do this one.
Publish API to use Ocean. Yes, yes, of course. That's in the pipeline. That's actually comes with ORI at the same time. So when the O routing intelligence is published, the ORI is the API of Ocean. Right? It's because Ocean is going to be the ORI. You get my point? So when you speak with Ocean, you are actually using the ORI. Even now, but it doesn't route to different models. It's just the same backend. It just fixated and don't route to other models. Just use this model. But later on, once we start the alpha testing, it will use multiple models and so on. So then, as a user, you're gonna access Ocean. You are using ORI when you chat, and also you can make an API and access ORI, which is the same thing as accessing Ocean. Um, yeah.
Bitsy asked a question about cookie and outreach. I'm not sure if you have information on that, but he said, "Hey, Shadid, I left a message a couple months ago about cookie and outreach. Could you follow up with this and make sure all products slash tokens aren't cookie data?" But you said only OBA. So if it's only OBA, and it does
No, he means Cookie, the website.
I
Yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah, I remember that website, Cookie.fun. But to be honest, that's a good point. That's a good point. We should. Thank you for reminding us. Thank you.
Yeah, I can write it down for you.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So he's talking
Also, one
about
second.
this one.
Yeah, send that right now. Mm,
This one, hey guys. Yeah.
I see a community question I could probably answer. But okay, I've answered this question a lot. I'll answer it really briefly. You said few people in our community, 58 people on product updates, including the team. Any plans to grow the community any soon? And how do you plan to grow the community? I mean,
I
if you want to talk about that, you can. If you want, I can as well.
Yeah, no, I actually want to ask him, what would you do differently to make this happen? Yeah.
Him?
Happy to hear it. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
happy to hear his opinion. He can write
Yeah.
or come and jump the stage. What would you do differently to make it happen? Advise us. That's why the community is here, right? For us to listen and work together on this project.
Mhm. Yeah, let's see what he says. Okay, I'm gonna send that here. You want to send it on Slack or on Discord? I'll send it on Slack. Let's see if he's typing. Oh, he's typing. Yeah, when you said cookies, I'm like, oh, you mean like the data? Okay, that makes sense.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, check your messages. It's right there for later. Boom.
Like Sean Guy said, when we will update the tokenomics of OI, actually, that's a really good point. Totally forgot that. Let me just throw that on a task here. You can see.
Just in case, I'll send that to you as well.
Yeah, please.
Good question. Boom.
Thank you.
He said, maybe Wonder could say a few words about growing the community. I will think about it, and tomorrow we'll send you my message. How could I deliver this info to you, Shadid?
No, you have my word. Just send it to Wonder. It will get to me.
Yeah, send it to me. I mean, if you want my words on it, I mean, people that are here that have been to the AMAs for like the last month plus, they kind of already know my thoughts on it. It's like, I mean, if you want my current thoughts on it, obviously we're kind of right now is a bit different than it was a month ago, which is a good sign of things picking up at least on like community side. But if you've noticed in terms of the things we've done, like if you're up to date with the community calendar, the events that we're doing, the things that we have going on, especially together in synergy with the products and stuff that are coming on, like operators and like the progress with like Ocean, it's become a point where right now I think it's the beauty of it's a bit different for me to say this now because we're kind of transitioning, but right now there was a beauty in seeing things kind of become more closed. Because if I'm being completely honest, we did have a lot of people. We do have a lot of people still. We haven't really gone really under. Like if you are up to date with the stats and stuff like that, um, the metrics say there's a lot of people that there's like a core retention, which is good and which is what we want. Because a lot of people that are in the Discord aren't there's quality and quantity of people, and we had a lot of quantity of people, but the people who are, really contributing, we didn't have as much of that, and there was kind of like a phase of people leaving and people kind of, showing their true interest and stuff like that, people that don't really have, like, the project or the products at heart, and, a lot of those people ended up leaving and stuff, and honestly, I'm trying not to say the word purge or anything, but in a sense, it really is condensing down those people. And I've said this in multiple AMAs and stuff like that. The people that were showing up during those times, the ones that were participating, there's a beauty in that, and we recognize and we acknowledge those people. And it's something that I don't like bringing everything down to like a reward basis. I just think it's good for increasing the quality, and especially if we move into things like pushing the products and stuff like that. It's like it's kind of I think it's important to kind of see what has happened in there. But again, obviously things will be picking up. But I've also did tell you guys there's kind of like the Web3 side and there's like the Web2 side of things as well. So right now,
And
you guys with
and
us?
I want to add a point. I don't add a point here. So the market time is also important. Like if you come back and let's say is recovering theoretically, if that new war happens between Pakistan and India, hopefully not. But the point is, let's say nothing happens, market recovers back. Come next 2 weeks, 2 weeks from now, the number of people in the call is going to double at least. So people kind of go hibernated during very bad time in the market. We have seen that for at least 7 years now. Um, and so whatever you have, you will usually have like 20% of it during hibernation periods, and I think now we are within the hibernation period, considering the amount of losses the market have made to everyone, without exception. So that lets people just leave communities, give up, and get busy with other things. So I think that's a big factor. It also shows you that just most of the community, anyway, whatever you try, you're going to build a community that's always motivated by price, on a shorter term, of course. So that's normal. So I think it's a balance of both. But definitely the community you build during this time right now, is probably the same people who was there. I'm 100% sure. Like 90% of the people on the call have been here since June last year. So that's the community. That's the different. That's the community we're talking about. They have been there. No, they're still here. Right. But so the community you build during these times, or when on hibernation period times, is the community that always stays. I wonder. I gotta jump off right now. I have a hard stop. Thank you very much, guys, for joining the call. Anything else from my side?
I don't know. That's good. I appreciate it. I'll talk to them a bit more about some of that stuff because I've spoken about it a lot. So we'll kind of continue it from there. But thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Of course, of course. Thank you guys for listening. Take care.
I'll
Bye
talk.
bye.
See ya. Bye. All right. So at least with that, you guys have heard me talk about it a lot. Um, Again, now is a bit different because I guess certain conditions are leaving. But as Shadid says, like as interest goes down, like it's similar with like all these other projects. And what was going on again, like maybe people may not understand, but um it things were under control. Like people may not understand, people may not like that. People like, oh, people aren't we're not retaining people. How does that make sense? But it's just like trust me, like things were understood, things are under control, and things there's still plans moving forward with things as well. So you also mentioned, and I think part of your misunderstanding is I don't think you understand fully because I'm looking at your roles, and what that means is you don't have access to the same things. Like you don't see everything that goes on, I would say, including chats. I don't really see you in the events that much. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't really see you in the quests. I don't really see you in the events. And I think you have maybe a skewed perception of what the community is right now. Community growth will happen. It's naturally gonna happen as things get more exciting again. But again, like, yes, there's something important of, increasing and retaining the community as things go down. But I mean, trust me, like it's a matter of things being under control and calculated. Again, people may not understand, people may not agree, but it is calculated and understood. So, now I think we have a good idea of who our core community is. And when things kind of get exciting again, there's gonna be a time where a lot of new people come in. And that's okay, like, people could come in, maybe they're genuine, maybe they're not, but, it's very important to it's like this, it's it's almost like a loyalty test, and, it's really important to see who's sticking with you at the highs and the lows, because there's people gonna be with you at the highs and people that are gonna abandon you at the lows, so it's important to know that, and, that's part of what it is. Now another part you mentioned, you said, these these same people participating in the events, no newcomers. Well, there are some newcomers, but you don't have the same access to data as we do. You don't have the Google Sheets. You don't have the Google Forms. So we do have new people participating, and there are people that talk to us and join the AMAs and talk at times as well. So you don't have the same access. Obviously, the core people are going to talk more because they're regulars. That's fine. That I understand. Um, but we do have newcomers as well. Not as much as before, for obvious reasons, I would say, related to the stuff you mentioned before. And there was another part here. You said the main general chat only has hi, good morning. Yeah, I will say the general chat has been very bot like, for multiple reasons. People think that's how you get shards. One, two, there are people from Galaxy that needed to do that for quests. And my response to that is Galaxy is over, so there should be less of that. However, there's a lot of people that they have their bots set up from Galaxy and they're still gonna be here. So it's gonna take a little bit of time to purge them fully. But in terms of the bots flooding in general channels, that should go away soon. Now, you mentioned general chat. Now, the thing is, there's a lot of other chats that you don't have access to. And I'm not making fun of you or anything, but the conversations that go on in OG channel, for example, the conversations, I mean, obviously the Zenith channel, but a lot of the Zenith people like going on all the channels. There's the channels that you have in the token holder channels. And because we restricted conversation about token price in general and all the other channels besides the token holder channels, you're going to see less of that. And you're going to see more of the generic basic conversation. And I'm sure you see people having conversations that are normal, but you kinda see it as bot-like. I know people like having casual conversations that you may not see as productive. Maybe that's possible, but, a lot of the conversation happens in places that you do not have access to. And you can get access to them if you want, but a lot of that comes with participation and putting yourself out there. In the last few weeks, you put yourself out there in terms of, things that you say, in the AMAs, which is good. But I mean, let's see. I'd have to see where I could put you in. We also have the subscription channels. We have a lot of channels, but a lot of them are condensed, and you're not really in any of the channels that have those conversations. So I don't fully blame you for having that perception, but your perception is skewed because of what you have access to. Let's see. Yes, please build up your TikTok account. Like what Shadid said is such like big alpha too. Like, if you are interested in, being an operator, contributing to the project and stuff like that, it's almost like getting into your KOL art, you know what I'm saying? So, what you wanna do, just build your personal community, and not only will that help you with us, that's going to help you outside of what we're doing here. It's almost like we're saying, "Oh, build your own business, building your own business, building your own, foundation." That's gonna help you, and it's gonna help us, and it's gonna help both of us together. Because even if you're not doing it for you're gonna have your own audience, and you can do whatever you want with your own audience. So yeah. So I will say as well, you're talking about the numbers. Next AMA, we have some 50, 60 people. Well, the thing about the AMAs are of value for people that come and listen to it, right? Obviously, we don't want it to get down to 10, 5, 20 people, but the AMAs are of value for the people that listen. Um, because of the information we give, because of I mean how deep the information is or questions. So it's like yes, we like to see high numbers, but again, like it's been expected in terms of the previous, I'll say previously because things are changing now. The previous market downturns, there was a lot of people who left and don't show up anymore for multiple reasons. Um, but the numbers are different because if you look at things for the AMA, a few weeks ago we actually had over 100 people. I think we had like 130 something people for a normal AMA, which was surprising to us because we thought the product updates would have more people. But we had about 130 or so people in the AMA. The last AMA, I forgot how many we had. I think last AMA we did have a little bit under 100. Uh, but yeah. Can you ask? Yeah, I'll bring you on. Move on. I'm just answering some of the questions in the chat because I'm not gonna lie. I do like people to be transparent and honest. I know a lot of people are wondering. Oh, Amanda left. They see reconnecting. I know a lot of people are kind of curious because, oh, like the market's turning up, right? Oh, things should change, right? Things are supposed to be changing. And I'm sure a lot of people are waiting to see some sort of differences. And that's expected. Um in terms of what I have control over or what I'm involved with or contributing with, again, building is consistent. We're still building, we're still having activities, we're still doing stuff. Community initiatives are still active. And in terms of things when things like marketing and stuff goes up, again, I've talked about this a lot, but some of it vaguely. But remember, there's the Web 2 and there's the Web 3. You guys, everyone here is vast majority predominantly Web 3. But there's also the Web 2 side of people that are gonna be engaged, and there's a lot of things in terms of, like, the marketing that is going to engage both ends, right? And a lot of our Web 3 people, they don't really kinda see the stuff that's going on with the Web 2 side of things, whether that's not happening yet or whether they just don't see it because we're not pushing it out to them. And, a lot of things are being developed that we're preparing for. The reason why we're talking about all these different social media platforms is because we have things that we are gonna be doing on the different social media platforms. So there's hints and things that we say. So who knows? In a bit, you might see us popping stuff on TikTok. pop in more things on YouTube, and then there's a matter of time like, oh, is operators gonna add TikTok and YouTube? You know what I mean? So these are just things I'm saying them vague as speculation, but there's things that are being done. So if you see us, and for those who use TikTok, you know how big TikTok is. So if we get things solidified and pop it on TikTok, that would be really good. And most of that, if you see us on TikTok, most of that's gonna be kind of it's gonna be like a balance between the Web 2 and Web 3. We're not gonna only be saying it's Web 3 because it's kind of weird for us to go out and be like, oh, hey, buy our token, da 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 da. We can't do that. So yeah. Hopefully that gave you some perspective. I'll bring you in a bit, Vovan. What actions are taken to increase the number of new people in Discord? See, that's what I mean though. Like that's assuming that we're actively like right now, I mean, or maybe not right now, I'd say, because again, this is like a very transitional phase because excitement and confidence is coming back. Um, as long as it is legitimate, right? We have to wait for legitimacy. I spoke about this 2 days ago. Um, that's assuming that we are going heavy on those actions to increase new people in Discord. And that's also assuming that increasing the new people in Discord is top priority or as valuable as increasing the number of eyes of people on other platforms. Because think about it. Part of the problem is, and some people won't admit it because it's a sensitive topic, but part of the reason why certain things on Discord have been the way they are is because a lot of people get offended and people get confused when I say this. And Amanda, come back on stage. But you have to understand, people don't believe it. Some people don't believe it, but a lot of the priority beforehand, I've said this many times, has been on the community. And community is important. Communities where you get a lot of talented people to come and help. Communities where you have a lot of fun. It's also good to bring a lot of attention. There's beautiful and amazing things about community, right? And at the same time, we were focusing on products and developments, which we still do, right? But I don't want people to think we only focus on community, but we did put a lot of time, money, and resources into community at those times. Now, here's the thing. We have to talk about sustainability and results, right? So from that community, from the amount of time and money and effort we spent on the community, what has that provided for the project? And I'm not going to say us because I'm going to say for the project because everybody that is involved and cares about the success about the project, which is our blood, our lifeline, right? That's what we're trying to raise up. That is in essence the most important thing, right? That is what we're honing. So ask yourself the question: if we're putting most of our or a lot of our resources and attention onto the community, how is that helping the project, right? And you can think of a variety of ways that that is being the case. However, the amount of money and time and all these things we spent on the community that didn't really turn into things that were as valuable or sustainable. I would like to say sustainable because sustainability, I would say, is the most important thing in this context. It's it became a thing where it was a lot of the community has gotten so much, and again, people get triggered when we say that because a lot of people weren't there for some of those opportunities, or some people missed it, or some people were on other ends of it. But there's been so many things, like the amount of money that's been given away, and people don't even know. Like I don't even think I can say the numbers, but crazy amounts of money that if we said people probably won't believe because they're like, how is that possible? Da 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 da. But people don't want to believe that. So I avoid talking about it. So a part of your question is like, oh, why are we not focusing on Discord as number one priority? Because we've tried having Discord and stuff as number one priority, and where has it gotten us, right? It's been there's a lot of negativity that has come from it, a lot of money, you know, and a lot of people who don't have our best interest in mind. And I don't want people to be fake, I want us to be honest with ourselves. I know there's a lot of people here that defend us and are supporters and core supporters, and ideally, we want you guys to have the project at the core, right? You want us to be the best AI project ever. We want that. We want people to support us. We want people to give us our talents. So we are a community. So we are as one, right? But I'm not gonna act like you guys don't want gain either. That's normal. That's okay. It's not. you shouldn't feel like you should hide that you want some sort of benefit, okay? That's natural, right? And I think a lot of times when it comes to conversations like that, people don't wanna come off as, "Oh, I don't want them to know I'm here, I'm in it for the money." You know? Obviously, I would love it if you guys just care about the project, but it's expected. We're humans, and it makes sense. If you give your time into something, you want something out of it, right? And that's okay with me. I think that's realistic. The more so the problem is the people who are only in it for the financial and don't really care about the project and don't really have as much value and are taking from us. So a lot of people in the Discord community, while we had high numbers, you guys remember the meme coin craze? Obviously, we've had our little fiasco. We've had things going on with like our meme coin and stuff like that. And even OI, we have a lot of the meme coin audience. They see OI as a meme coin in a sense too. They kind of have that mentality. Also, people don't really see it as a meme coin, kind of, but they did a little bit because also was involved with OBOT. But there's a lot of, for lack of a better term, I say this not in a bad way, but because that's the terms we use in crypto. But a lot of the degen audience, the people that are just trying to quick trade meme coins, short-term trades, no long-term perspective. Some people they do have long-term perspective. Some people are those long-term investors, but it really introduced an environment of people that is in a sense unhealthy and is not as valuable as the people we have here today in this channel. And I think that kind of makes sense for a lot of people. And during this time where the market got really bad, it was a good opportunity to kind of purge some of those people and have an idea of what that is. And trust me, I'm saying this stuff and you guys have to understand, bro, like I fight for you guys a lot more than you guys think. You know what I mean? Amanda and I, like, we really fight for you guys, and you guys may not notice. You guys aren't gonna know because you don't know the conversations that go on in the background. So, after all these things that have happened in the past, there's been responses and considerations like, "Oh, what should we do about this? How should we do this?" But at the end of the day, increasing the number of people on Discord isn't as valuable as other things that we could be increasing the number in. And that would also benefit you if you do care about the project, the success about the project, and also your own success in certain types of ways. You know what I mean? So I know it's kind of like it's kind of a delicate conversation, but I'm just being real. Part of the reason why the Telegram had to be muted is because from a branding perspective, it's so bad. Like I tried so hard to keep Telegram open, but it's like from a new investor perspective, from people just going in, they want to learn about the project or the product. All they see is talking about, oh, the coin price going up and down, right? That's not what it was intended for. And I know some people kind of ask like, oh, maybe we should have like a chat just for coin talk. And I'm okay, but at the same time, we're supposed to avoid it in general. We're not really even supposed to talk about stuff that crazy. And I'm not saying things were perfect on don't get me wrong. I'm not saying things were perfect on every single end. People are gonna make mistakes. Things aren't gonna go as smooth, but at the end of the day, it's like what is Discord doing? But besides the people that we are our core community and are providing value, making content and stuff, and I appreciate all you guys for doing it. Even if we have an exchange going on, right? Like you do things for us, we do things for you. It's like a relationship. Um, we were losing value on the amount of attention we were giving to the community. And sorry if I'm rambling too long, but I really want you guys to understand because I feel like I say this so many times and people don't fully understand or grasp it. But if we're spending, I can't even say how much money has gone out. But you guys know people say whatever they want about Shadid. People can say whatever they want about Shadid. But at the end of the day, like the people who actually know Shadid and understand Shadid, like this guy is like sometimes I'm like, yo, this guy's too nice and too generous. Like too much. And people are gonna take advantage of that because one, either it's they don't really care. And if they don't care, why are you here? We don't want you here. Like, who cares if we have 10,000 extra people on the Discord if you don't care about us? You only care about yourself. Like, who cares about Discord numbers? We could have 100 people on the Discord. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not the point. You want the project to be successful. And that's why we work hours every single day. Like, bro, there's people who haven't had a day off. Amanda and I haven't had a single day off since we started. There's people here who work every single day. And there's people that work even harder or just as hard as us. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, that's why we're having more of a focus on product and we've kind of been tapering off on community things, because the system the way it is, we really want to focus on rewarding the people who are loyal instead of the masses, which is why you see things like slightly less rewards on our contests and more emphasis on the shards because we want to reward the people who are contributing, and that's what OG, that's what Zenith, that's what all these other things are for. Because your rewards and your loyalty will be reflected in these communities or these groups more than the masses, which I think is good for the people who are in these groups, the people who are in Zenith, the people who are in OGs and stuff like that. You should be happy to hear that type of stuff because more of that money like is being saved to go to people who are more worthy. You know what I mean? Let me read what I in the chat because I feel like I missed a few things. Uh, man, with all great things about the project, you should have hundreds of people with CEO updates. I don't know if that's like a joke or whatever, but I mean we have weekly product updates and we have guests, so I am a team no matter what is condition, it is low or high, you'll find me every time. And that's what I'm talking about. Like it's just a core community thing. Um I'm really being careful to say because I do care about Discord numbers. I do care about the community numbers. I do care about the community growing. We need the community to grow. Never forget that we need it to grow, you know. But it's like I'm not looking like, damn, we didn't hit. We're not. I mean, before I was like this. Before I was like, oh, I want to hit 100K by now. But because things changed, I understood that's like different. But I am holding a really large position of OI, and this is why I'm asking all these questions. I completely understand. Guess what's up with probably 99, 95% of the people in this chat right now. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are in the same boat. A lot of people are investors who are hoping for the best on multiple standpoints. And I understand. I understand. Um, but yeah, there is risk to everything. Everyone's gonna make sure we do our job, of course. I'm still I mean, I can't give financial advice, but I'm saying like whatever we do, we want like we intend for things to if you are a part of the community, if you are a core community member, if you are contributing with us, our goal is for you to succeed. Like, you know what I mean? So if you are contributing, if you give, we will also give. And we've shown many examples of that, and we definitely intend to keep doing that. So there's people who here I know that are with us, and I'm like, oh, you're gonna be good, we got you, you know, you know what I mean? So I understand. Galaxy, how and when will the airdrop distribution take place with vesting? I'm not gonna lie. Okay, here's the thing with Galaxy. Like I've mentioned so many times, the Galaxy allocation is gonna be lower than some of the other things. So there is a chance there won't be vesting because there's gonna be some. I mean, it depends how much people get. We have to go through the final cycle or whatever, see who's eligible and whatnot, because there's a lot of bots. Trust me. When it's gonna happen though, okay, so for me, I wanted it to go at the same time as the first again, the first Zenith airdrop. That's what I wanted it to do, but I feel like it keeps on getting extended. So there's a chance that I mean, I think I'm gonna rush the Zenith airdrop once we get to that target I was talking about of how many people I think we'll end up having. So once we get to that target, I'm gonna be like, okay, yeah, we gotta hurry this up. You know what I mean? Um, if it takes too long, then it's okay. But for Galaxy, it ended. I don't know. I wanted it to be the same time as the Zenith airdrop, but that might take too long. That might take too long. Uh, so if that does take too long, what I mean by too long, again, Zenith airdrop. I don't want you guys to think it's gonna be forever. Like it's gonna be this year. Like God willing, is this year. Like you know what I mean. Like the month, I don't exactly know the month. Um, will it be soon? It depends what you mean by soon. I think I really don't want to say months because I don't want people to take what I say and be like, "Oh, this is the target month." If you use your brain and you think and you use certain clues, you will probably have a very good indication of when it's gonna be. And that's all I'm gonna say. I'm sorry, that's all I'm gonna say because for reasons. So if you have an idea in your brain on when it's gonna be and you could rationalize it with this evidence and this evidence, You probably have an idea of when it's gonna be around that time, and it could be before or it could be after. That's all I'm gonna say. If you know, you know. Keep it low key. If you know what I'm talking about, keep it low key. I don't want this to be spread around. Okay, please. Okay. This is what worries me about that our community is not growing. People outside of this group don't know about the great things about our project. And think about it. There is timing. One thing that's very important is timing. We are building all these things, right? You guys have heard about these things we're building. We're talking about Atlas, we're talking about ORI. But when do you think is the best time to push marketing and emphasis on these things, right? If we had one certain time to do a full strong push where we do everything, right? Obviously, we have to do it in bits, right? Do it in bits and pieces. This We have to do it at a time that makes sense. If Ocean is still in beta phases, if ORI is about to reach alpha, you know, we there's a level of marketing that we will and have to do, but in terms of like huge pushes, huge amounts of funding in terms of marketing and advertisements, now is not the time to put in like thousands and thousands of dollars in marketing, especially right now. There's gonna be times for that to emphasize it, but in that time, we're still gonna be doing those things. And I'll give you guys a little hint of things that I've been working on because it is product updates. Ever since I guess a month or two back, I've been helping a lot with the social media content. So I've been working with other people and the contributors to work on social media content, and we're developing things. We've had really big meetings that we haven't had before with others like Marina and stuff where we are focusing on strategy heavily, and these things are being planned. Things like videos, things like certain posts. And I can't tell you guys too much because it's very important. But we are heavily planning and trying to make moves because you have to understand like this project is our lives at this point. It's not just simple to just abandon it or not go out. There's a lot of people who are and have been lazy or not doing a lot, and things happen, you know what I mean? So, it's like we're really heavy on the productivity, and we're trying to always increase the productivity. I think the important thing is making sure our staff does not burn out, um, and actually sleeps, because if we sleep and rest, that means we get to do more for you guys. I've been trying to take care of myself more often because, it's been getting bad, and Amanda is a mother of a lot of kids, and she works every single day, and she works super hard. So I need to make sure she's being taken care of as well. So yeah, man, like the people that you guys are working with are people that are putting, you know, like this is our main priority. So yeah, you'd be surprised on how much some of us are doing stuff. Like y'all have no idea how much Marina does, bro. Marina does so much. It's crazy. Why didn't Mr. Shadid talk about the price? I think we talked a little bit about some of the tokens, but again, like we're trying to get away from token price conversation. I've been saying that for a while. If you didn't know that, it's okay, but keep the conversation of price in the token channels. I'm looking at your roles. You have some of the holder roles, so you can go ahead ask questions there. You have 3 questions. Yeah, we're kind of going overtime. Honestly, I'm whatever. I'll bring you on though. Does that mean we should consider our investment as a loss? That's up to you. That is all up to you. Um, that's your decision. Again, I like, bro, like as Shadi said, like some things we can't predict. Like if crazy things happen in the world, like and if Bitcoin does some crazy stuff, like we're not gonna have full control of that. But I'd say honestly, if you know what I'm talking about, bro, like it's up to you if you wanna consider your thing a loss. Um, that's all I'm gonna say. It's up to you. Like it's your choice. If you wanted to, it can be. You know what I mean? If you want it to be a loss, it can be a loss. That's up to you. Let's see. But personally, I'll just say it, my plan is not to fail the people that believe in us. Like I think the saddest thing that could ever happen is the people who have been through us for this long and have had faith in us. Um, if if we fail them somehow, I know not everything's in my control. I'm involved with a lot of these things, but if we fail you guys, that's gonna resonate with me for like the rest of my life, and I don't want that to happen. Even though I don't have control fully, but um I want everybody that invests in us mentally, spiritually, all these things to succeed, you know? I also would like to meet a lot of you guys in the future, at an event, hopefully everybody is successful, and we could maybe meet one day. That'd be cool. Vaughn, I'm gonna bring you on. Sorry about that. Thanks for waiting. Yo,
Yo,
what's up?
yo, 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 yo. Hello.
Yo, what's up?
One second. One second. I'll open my questions. One
No
second, one
problem.
second, one second. Yes, so I don't know if you know the answers for that, but what will be the functionality of all markets? So it will be like DEX, just a DEX.
Okay, I don't know how much I'm able to say. I did get a little bit of information about what markets today, about certain developments. However, I'm pretty sure you were there. Were you there for I think it was a 2 or 3 product update 8 days ago when we had Arcanum here? Were you there for that one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think yeah.
Yeah, so in terms of that, he kinda said everything. There is a recording I could give you if you wanna hear it, but I don't know right now in terms of the current updates that I'm allowed to say, but it's like I yeah, I don't wanna make any mistakes here, sorry. Right. Uh, what's your next question, though?
Okay, okay. So the next question is, can we pay with OIN so in we will be able to pay with OIN also
Yeah, I would say so.
according to.
I'm not that's not guaranteed or confirmed, I'm just saying, like, it makes sense, and I think it would. That's just yeah, I think that makes sense. We've been okay, take for example too, like we've been talking about crypto payments and stuff, right? With other things. So I think it makes sense that O markets, uses our O tokens, right? So I would say so. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah,
Probably.
finally. I was waiting for that like for 2 months.
Yeah, it's possible. I don't know the time frame or if it's actually gonna happen, but I think it's something that makes sense.
I'll be an operator finally.
Hey. Oh, you're talking about for Ocean.
Yeah, yeah, for Ocean.
Oh, that'll come sooner. Yeah, bro. I think so. The crypto payments thing, yeah. That should have been out by now, by the way. That should have been already out by now, so it should be soon, I think.
Oh, it's already live.
No,
Oh,
no, no,
okay,
no, no, no.
okay. I
It's
need
not.
to
That shouldn't
check
be
it.
live right now, but it might. I don't know unless they did it recently and I didn't notice, but it should be happening soon. I don't exactly know what crypto we're gonna do though, so you're gonna have to stay tuned for that. Okay.
Okay, okay. And the final question, the question of all Ukrainian community, when will Ocean support UA language and so, like Ocean, all works and all that will support UA Ukrainian language?
So a lot of the decisions we make based on language support is based on very for lack of a better term, um a lot of like relevant locations, like so Arabic obviously very relevant, makes sense. However, it's funny because Arabic is one of those languages that on Discord we don't have a huge community. On Telegram we did, but it's very relevant to us. And then you have obviously like Vietnamese, relevant for obvious reasons, huge Vietnamese community. Russian, we have a lot of good contributors, like all these other languages like Hindi and stuff like that. That's makes sense. So it's based on how relevant in terms of how engaged is this community to us, or how deep do we want to get into that kind of market, right? So because the Ukrainian community is active, um, some of the ways we determine how we're gonna choose which ones we're gonna add is based on, relevance. So as long as you guys still contribute, like within time, I think during the next rollout of languages, I think it makes sense to expect maybe Ukrainian possibly. So that makes sense to me.
Okay, okay, thank you. So yeah, that's all.
I hope that makes sense. Yeah. Fogel, it's okay, man. I know you're asking questions. I do appreciate the hard questions. Because you know I understand. Like again, I understand how all you guys feel. I want everyone that invests in us to succeed, and I know there's a lot of emotions and concerns and worries about, things that have been going on or things that are going on, and the people who and again, like the people who, I don't want to the people who are in a loss or the people who are scared or nervous, they often speak up more than the people who have succeeded or are happy. And what I mean by that is obviously right now the current thing that's going on is a lot of people, because of I know people get annoyed by me, like people saying that as an excuse too, but realistically, it was market conditions. I'm not gonna lie, like, like the time we had the worst timing ever. We had the worst timing ever. Maybe, maybe not, but dude, you have to take it. We had Old Limitless Summit. We had, we had. I shouldn't be talking about price low key, but we had like all time highs. We had all this excitement. We had crazy things on the way. And then the worst news that could have like happened, well, not that could have happened, but crazy bad news is dropping and dropping and dropping. And now people are where they are right now, and people feel all these ways, and there's a lot of emotions, and I get it, right? Obviously, I don't want people to feel that way. But again, people kind of focus and emphasize those bad ones, even though we've had so many good times, we have so many good, successful things from people in the community, and they kind of stay silent about it. So, I get it, but I do want people to remember that it's not all bad. There's been a lot of success, and we intend to have even more. So I appreciate you for coming out and trying to get some understanding. I apologize if we're too vague because we really can't say everything. For better, I would say we can't say everything. But I do apologize for this confusion. But I will say, without being direct, there's a lot of smart people amongst you guys, and you know, it's good to talk to these people who are educated and have an idea. And some people be like, "Oh, it's just copium," or maybe it's like, "Oh, they're just saying random things." Maybe they are, but I think there's a lot of smart people, and they're saying things that are very valid and make sense. And I think that's part of what community is about. During the times that are tough, I think that's where community is also very important. So for someone like you, Fogel, I'm sorry because you probably don't have access to these valuable conversations because you don't have any roles. So I want to see what I could do for you. I'll try to think of it. But what I would recommend, I don't know if you're into all that stuff, but Operation Zenith, that's a really good starting point to get access to some of these channels. And I think you'd find people that also ask very good questions, people that are also critical thinkers, people that are just like you, because I'm sure there's people that are just like you. And I notice a lot of people in the community, they feel similar ways to, questions or criticisms that people have, but either they don't want to say it, they don't care enough to say it, they're too worried about saying it for whatever people are going to think, or they just want to be silent and understand each of those perspectives. But I think there's like-minded people like you that you will find and have valuable conversations with. So I'll see what I could do, but I would say check out Operation Zenith. Can someone ping him with the thread? Let me know if you're interested. If you're not, we can see what else we can do for you. Yeah. Duh, duh, duh. Okay, so I don't want to get into that stuff, but okay. So for example, this is what I mean by people kind of focus on those bad things, and I think that's also human nature. I think a human could have 4 to 5 or 3 to 4 positive interactions or situations, and one bad or one really bad situation is going away almost heavier than those 2, 3, 4, 5 good situations. And you guys may understand that or know that happens. I think partially it's human nature. Um, for some reason, we let the bad outweigh the good. And sometimes people kind of miss the good, and I understand. So for you, I know there's a lot of people who would say the opposite. You said the biggest mistake you made was in investing in Mr. Shitty's projects. Now, if you just that these are the type of questions you will see more often than the other people that are like, yo, one of the best decisions I made, or I'm so glad I joined the O.XYZ community and got involved. Right? You don't see those people saying it. And there's different reasons why. So I know there's people like you that will say it, but there's so many people who would disagree with that, and people that are definitely here right now, but they don't have to say that, and that's it's a privacy thing, People don't really want to share when they succeed because it's a privacy thing, and I completely understand. because sometimes I like that. I don't really want people to kind of know because it's like a privacy thing and people get too much in your business. Um, but I'm sad to say that's the way you feel, and we want to make that right. SS, I genuinely do. Hopefully that happens where to the point that you don't feel that way. But again, there's plenty of people that don't feel that way, and you're not really gonna hear them say that. And that's just how it is. Okay. So again, I hope we make things right in the future. Uh, Here's the thing. The last part that you said, Fogo, you said the thing we don't want to happen is coming October and November and the second ocean event. We have 60 people in our product calls. Who's to say that's a bad thing though? We don't know if that's a bad thing because you don't know what's gonna happen at that time. I understand it makes sense. So,
Who changed the colors, Amanda?
Amanda, I think it was Amanda. I was sleeping.
Yep.
Hey,
Why?
'Cause, somebody had made a suggestion about, the Topaz Shard and Zircon being too similar, you couldn't really tell them apart, and I don't know, it seemed like red was a good color, and then mod color was a little bit too similar, so I just kinda brightened them up.
Okay. We're pinky.
You don't like pink? Come on, it was peach before, at least it's, like, brighter now.
No, it's good. It's good.
yeah. We're gonna wrap up soon, but I feel like there's some important things I guess we touched. But yeah, yeah. Right now, the most important thing isn't pumping the price, as you're saying, but we have to deliver. You're saying you have to deliver info about the project, outside of Discord, which is being developed right now. Price will follow. Yeah, the thing we do not want to happen is coming. Okay, again, like I don't think it's inherently like directly a bad thing that that event happens and we have 60 people. Because what that means is that means in a few months from now, we have the current core community we have right now. And again, 60 is on the lower end. Like 60 is like the lowest end. Like that's like the minimum we really get for these calls. Um, yeah, even the AMAs, including the AMAs. So yeah, don't worry about it. Things are under control. If you guys have suggestions, okay, like I appreciate constructive criticism. As long as you kind of say it in a constructive way. Don't assume you know everything because there's things that are relevant that people don't know. And people will blame certain things on people or certain situations, but they don't have the full picture. Okay. So, we welcome you to make suggestions. But I don't think you'll be disappointed, guys. I hope not. Okay. Sorry, a few more questions. I just want to get everything. Wonder, you think there might ever be a change from OI to another coin? No. No, I'm gonna no. This is it, bro. Like, there's no way. The only chance that happens, bro, is let's say, nah. I don't think so. I don't think so, bro. For reasons you mentioned yourself, like meme coin associations or different reasons, or is it pretty much safe and won't change again, bruh? I think we literally cannot. We literally cannot. Um, no. This will be like the last coins, bro. Um, God willing. Yeah. Well, I know one from the team is going to Dubai 49 event. Well, one reasons about that. When is Dubai 49? Isn't it soon? I'm pretty sure it's like what is like May or it's happening right now. Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll start going back to events though. Don't worry about it. Really hope we'll have a presence at Solana Breakpoint in December in Dubai. Yeah, I can see us going there. I might go there too, maybe. Well, it's December though, so we'll see. Okay, almost done. Wait, Flo, I saw you ping me again on the Galaxy question. I answered it. I hope you heard it. Let me know if you need me to repeat it. So are you gatekeeping info from the people about the project and the product? Why? Well, relevant information we let go. Information that's not ready or not optimal to release yet, we will be gatekeeping. I guess I could give some relevant examples of that. But for example, before the market screwed us all over, for example, we had a lot of information we saved for around the time of O Limitless Summit and after O Limitless Summit, right? Remember, there was a lot of stuff after O Limitless Summit too that we announced and we're going to announce and maybe we held back on. Remember that. So in that case, it makes sense to hold the information back and time it better. Because what's the point of doing every single detail at once? That's not sustainable. It's not the best method either, you know. Um, I don't think that's a good use of our power because it's really hard to get, good news and stuff like that. Like that's limited, you know. So yeah. Sorry, I'm misreading. Is it still worth it to get shards? Perhaps I will start doing so. If you guys are interested in doing shards, you do not have a lot of time left. Um, it is possible though. I'm not gonna lie. And the reason I say it's possible is because there's examples of those people. And it's really hard. Like, don't get it wrong. Like, there are certain methods. Like, if you were to ask me what's the fastest way I can get shards, I have it in my head how to do it. I can't say how because obviously I know the methods how to get all the shards, right? Um, and I think listen, anybody could lie, but I want you guys to know I'm very, very like I'm so fair. Like, I'm not giving like insider info with this stuff. Like the internal information is so internal. Like one of my homies could hit me up, I'm gonna be like, nah, like I want you guys to know. So this is all fair. Maybe people said, oh, it's not fair how you choose the winners. Okay, obviously a judging thing is gonna be like a bit varied at time, even though I think it's fair. We have a panel of people that judge things. But I just want you to know, we try to be as fair as possible. Anyways, is it worth getting the shards? You are going to have to start now. It is possible. So people that gotten the shards already, they can help you. Um, you could ask us questions or tips to get shards. But here's what you're gonna have to start doing. I'm gonna give you guys a guide, a quick guide. If you haven't started with shards, I'm gonna tell you exactly what to do, but not everything because some of them might be related to hidden shards. Okay, so I can't tell you. But um, for example, highlight. Not everybody knows nobody knows the full criteria. Nobody knows except for us. So that one you're gonna have to figure out on your own. But if you don't have highlight, don't if you don't have highlight and you're stressing about how I get highlight, don't worry about highlight until you have at least um 4 shards, like minimum, like minimum. I would say focus on getting your invits. Start making content on X immediately, you know. And while you make that content on X, remember you can make content on X for a shard and just join operators, and you can get paid for it. Okay, there you go. Start participating in everything, bro. Participate in everything. If you miss a few, that's fine. Just participate. Participate. Um, so yeah, you got your zircon, you got your emerald, iolite. That's what you get from participating. Nephrite. Um, chat, like just have conversations, vibe with us. You know, get known. Your mods. I mean, I gotta check out active the mods nowadays, but your mods are OGs. In the chat, they will they'll recommend you. So just be natural. You know, just check your things out, participate in the quest, have conversations, AMA conversations. People, 3 OGs, they need to approve of you. And then you fill out a form that is on the operations of the page. Get knife right. Um, Top as just participate in certain events. We've been a bit more lenient on top as now. Olabryth is coming out. Talent show is coming out soon. These are gonna be really good opportunities to get some shards and highlight. Either you figure out how to get highlight or you get lucky. Also another note, I don't know if I should say this, but um highlight is semi-automated right now. And what I mean by that is like there's certain things that we have and there's certain things we have to get and there's certain things we have to do. So what I'm point of me saying that is like we would have the list, or we would put together the list of who is eligible, right? But we have to manually put that in as well. So it's a combination of automatic and manual processes. I guess that's sure you can say that's a hint. I don't think that's a hint, but sure. But it's a combination of automatic and manual processes, right? Put that aside. We have those two, right? These are the criteria. Now, after we have that criteria, we have to go back and like give you guys the roles. Like Zircon, that one's more automated. We just click a button, right? This highlight, we don't have a button we can press to update you. So you could be eligible, but it may take a few days before you even see it. Okay, so just a heads up. Just in case you think like, damn, oh man, I'm doing everything I can and I don't have highlight. I don't have it. Maybe you have it. It's just not processed yet. So just keep that in mind. Okay. Almost done. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. I'm just going down to the bottom. Thanks for staying so long, guys. I appreciate you. Before we end, you got anything you want to say, Amanda?
No, you got it all.
Hey. I love you guys too. I see the chat, I see the comments. Thank you guys. I appreciate y'all. Da, da, da. Wonder favorite line while reading messages. And all right, I gotta leave the some space. Can you change zenith color? It is not visible in light mode. First of all, why using light mode? I'm about to take away your shards just because of that. No, I'm playing. Okay, yeah, we'll look into it. Don't worry. That's a good question. That's a good point. I appreciate you for that. Amanda, can you remind me? Here, I'm gonna take a screenshot.
I'll do it.
Do it. We
I'll do
gotta
it
talk
today.
about what. Let's see which one's a good one though. We have to figure out.
I honestly think the thing is, I mean, it's got the emoji too, though, so you should still be able to see the emoji.
Mm.
You know what I mean? 'Cause I know people like that it's white because it's, you know, like pure. It's the highest shard. You know what I mean?
I love the white, honestly, but I use dark mode, so
Yeah, I do too. Maybe you guys should just use dark mode
that's what I'm saying.
or semi-dark mode. I don't actually have mine's not like blacked out. It's like kind of bluish purple.
I think we'll talk about it. We could talk about it in the community chat.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it. All right, guys. Thank you for staying.
Okay.
If you guys have any more questions, you'll see us next week for the community AMA. And yeah, if you guys got any more questions, put them in the chat. We can answer you guys later. Thank you guys for attending. Olabryth coming this weekend. Make sure you guys check the community calendar. Hopefully I didn't forget anything. But I'll talk to you guys later. See you guys.